Hi everyone, this is Rob Roy with Elliott Wave Options, and welcome to this trade review of our recently closed trade ID number 246 on SLV, which is the ETF for silver. So you can see it was in our volatility strategy, and it was a long strangle, as most of the alerts in our volatility strategy are. This one generated a nice return, just under 61% in 6 days. Looking at our mark-to-market daily P&L dot plot, as I call it, even this position showed that it was a loss initially, which is kind of the design of these strangles, since you're buying a call and buying a put before it took off to generate that nice profit. So even with a 6-day trade generating 61%, there was still a period of time where it reflected a loss. The entry was interesting. The metals have been a bit more volatile recently with all the Fed liquidity, etc. And you can see this pattern on the chart. It's my favorite pattern if you've heard many of these reviews in the past, where you have a pretty vertical move that ends with a consolidating symmetrical triangle. Now, I left the Elliott Wave pattern on here. You can see that we came to the 23% fib retracement level on the wave 4, and the Elliott Wave pattern was forecasting a potential move to the upside or a continued move higher. But this is the important lesson in this alert, in this trade review, is Elliott was really big on the fact that when you see a corrective triangle, it supersedes the larger Elliott Wave pattern. That when you have a ascending, descending, or symmetrical corrective triangle, those patterns can break in either direction. Don't get caught up in trying to pick a direction with the larger Elliott Wave pattern. Now at this point, it could have broken to the upside or the downside. We also added a comment here. I wanted to share this with you too, so you can see the way we communicate with our subscribers. Every week we do a live webinar. It's an interactive webinar where our subscribers can ask questions about any of the alerts. We cover all the alerts, but in the meantime, if there's a comment about a particular alert in between the weekly webinars, then I'll just add a comment onto the website that our subscribers can see as well. So again, very transparent, and we like to stay in as much communication and transparency with our subscribers as we can. Now look at the exit. The 6 days later, it did break to the downside, and this is where listening to Elliott with his rules was important. Not to get caught up in thinking that we were moving to the upside here. The breakout was the downside, and you can see it was a pretty volatile move once it moved. Now looking at this, because that's always a question as well, right? When do you get out? I mean, you can have your analysis, your patterns when you get in, but when you get out, that's the beauty of having an alert service, is we send you alerts on when to get out as well. And look at where we were with this move to the downside in relation to the 10-day moving average. And again, if you've heard me with any of these recordings, you've heard me say this, I'm sure, no security in any time frame gets very far away from its 10-day moving average. So the fact that SLV was way down here, the 10-day moving average was way up here, it was oversold. It was a good time to go ahead and take the profit, not thinking, oh, it can continue to run to the downside, and just showing you where we are right now. Here's where we exited on the 23rd. The next day, SLV did open lower but closed higher, and then each of the successive days since then, we've moved back to the upside, and that's that being oversold. The security is either going to correct back up towards the 10-day moving average or go sideways and allow the 10-day moving average to come down. Even if it does that, the implied volatility that you gained from such a directional move to the downside, a vertical move lower, goes away even if the stock goes sideways and doesn't rebound back to the upside. I hope you found that informative. Be back to talk to you again soon. Take care, everybody. If you like these recordings, I'd like to invite you to join our new Trade Finder Live, where each and every week we do a live webinar where we talk about the market, but we also go a little more in depth into the technical analysis system that we utilize to forecast where the market's likely going to go, and also to identify trading opportunities. Get your free subscription today. Take care, everybody.